Well, for the 42nd time all-time, it's the Battle of the Palouse. A short trip over to Pullman for the Idaho Vandals. 8 miles away, they meet the Washington State Cougars this afternoon as we continue tip-off week here on ESPN+. The Cougars and the Vandals inside Beasley Coliseum, and the fans coming inside on an action-packed weekend of sports on the Palouse. 651 combined games, 325 combined starts.
12 newcomers. They're all getting used to each other, but especially on defense, like you see right there.
Has now come and gone in the forms of Charlie Sledger-Walker and Bella Murakatete.
And this is the first summer she spent in Pullman. The basket is good.
One of the exciting things when you have a relatively young team is it seems like that growth curve is exponential at the start of the year as Coville gets the nice pass from Villa.
Brings excitement to the whole area, to the Palouse in general.
Olivia Nelson, that was a rare missed opportunity at the line for her as Charlotte Abraham gets the bucket for Washington State for Idaho.
And good spacing by Washington State here. Idaho's defense was kind of sucked up to each player. Diana Mendez in the game for the first time this season. Those two working together potentially on this high-low. Those are two really athletic players and skilled players in for Washington State. Bella Murakatete and Charlie Sledger-Walker gone. That's 25 points to scoring.
One thing in this first quarter that's probably driving both coaches crazy is the turnovers.
You see her instinct. Not fouling, keeping fair position, swatting the ball out.
And it was a big reason for their second half push, down by as many as double figures going into the fourth quarter. Nelson swatted out of play by Dart.
For the freshman, stays with her enough and has the deep.
So ball in Estera Tahina's hands for the closing seconds here of the first quarter. AT lets it fly. Oh, splash for Estera Tahina at the end of the first.
It was against Eastern to win it a few nights ago. Today, halftime, hand in the face, who cares? Facing UConn, not as fun, but playing Louisville the next year in the tournament, it's what it's all about.
Estera Tahina with a takeaway for WSU. Tara Wallach for Washington State has 2 as well.
Yeah, important to note that. We saw Diana Mendez come in and almost missed that. That's 2 fouls on Washington State's best post player. And that contact log in your phone just gets deeper and deeper.
That's probably a better word than Rolodex in this day and age. Gets a much-deserved breather. A nice inbounds play dialed up by Washington State.
But she plays at her own pace, and she uses screens really well right there. Leaves no space for the defender to get in between her and the screen setter. You're bringing in 2 of the best coaches in the Pac-12 to the WCC.
Tara Wallach, corner of the iron, following her miss and getting fouled. Hassman working away from the screen. It's taken away by Jenna Villa. Tara Wallach checking her left shoulder, swims back in for the lay-in.
And finished through contact. Just don't expect that to go scoop. But you see on the other end, the Cougs going in transition. We haven't seen many transition buckets.
You know what she was in the league was a defensive player of the year, so you hit it right on the head with what she's able to do coming in as a freshman. Coville has another block. That's a couple for her. She's going to block a lot of shots at 6'6". She already had 4 in the first couple games. Skips it end line over to LA Villa, to Jenna Villa. It rolls out. Villa stays with it. And Jenna Villa, the putback bucket to give Washington State a 5-point lead. There was a large break in the series, but still very important to these regional rivals, separated by just an 8-mile drive.
Yeah, I will repeat it. I never got to play the Cougs, 2010 to 2014.
Screen comes for Bukvich. Tara Wallach swats the shot.
She fights over the screen. Objects and mirror are closer than they appear. And
Tara Wallach chasing that 6th all-time mark in the Cougar record books. Has a little fadeaway jumper inside the free throw line. LA Villa staying with it and uses that perfect touch for the follow-up bucket.
Idaho limited her pretty well. The Cougs also got an offensive rebound, which Vandals did pretty good a job of limiting that in the first half.
3 of them for Alex Coville, the 6'6" post.
This is my paint. You They need every possession here to keep these Vandals off guard.
Tahina out of the corner pocket for Washington State. First double-digit lead for the Cougars. Looks back at the three for Tahina.
Great vision here by LA Villa and the strength.
Couldn't finish the lay-in. That's one that Idaho's going to mark that they should have had. And WSU the other way. A nice job to fill down the lane for Alex Colville. Alex Colville, the defense turning to offense for WSU.
Regroup, get the ball inside, and they're finishing really well right now.
Colville comes up with her third block shot up the floor to Tara Wallach against two defenders. Wallach finishes 11-4 Washington State advantage in quarter number 3. Marta Alcina, nice scoop off the window. For Idaho, that's a tough recipe. If you've only got 6 from Hassman and Nelson, they're expected to fill it up. Tara Wallach, she'll do that for Washington State as well. Third quarter, Tara Wallach rolling off for this big 3 to give Washington State its largest lead of the day. A 9-0 run now for Washington State. Idaho trying to stop the bleeding. It's off Abraham after the block shot by LA Villa. 7-0 run right now for Idaho to whittle down what was a 17-point Washington State advantage just 90 seconds ago. Astera Tahina, long 2.
And Hope Hassman leaves the floor for Idaho. That's going to have an impact. Ball handling wise, decision making wise, and penetration wise.
The inbounds goes to Charlotte Abraham.
Then leave the floor. She's just everywhere. And then a bit of a collapse on defense. High basketball IQ, along with most of David Riley's players. A lot of scorers on that team. I'm excited for that game tomorrow.
We're having so much fun here today. We're going to do it again tomorrow night.
Not?
The Battle of the Palouse. Tara Wallach trying to work out of the high post. Jenna Villa, Alex Colville trying to show the mid-range, and she's all twine for the Cougars.
Gorgeous stroke there. Nonchalant. And then just drains the 3, but Colville, oh, I'm a problem.
That's one of those, oh yeah, look what I can do.
Absolutely.
Rosie Schweitzer blocked by Alex Colville on the drive. Up to LA Villa, and an easy left-handed lay-in.
Take a look. Rosie puts it on the deck. Not in my paint. Colville running the other way. Just got a head start.
Tahina backing it back out. Jenna Villa trying to get an entry to Diana Mendes. They go to work down the left side, and there's the first bucket from the field for Diana Mendes in a Cougar uniform. For Jennifer Odlin.
Took a little contact.
Odlin helps get the stop. Here's Iriarty out with it, 3-on-2. Nelson off the baseline, had it picked behind by Jenna Villa. Wallach has the rebound for Washington State. And for the Cougars, a busy opening week. 3 games, 2 at home, both home victories. Cammie Etheridge says again, there's still work to be done, but you feel better doing that after a victory.